Greetings once again, my friends and my fellow modelers. I welcome you to another video, and today's subject is going to be on star blazers. Not that long ago, I had shown you a model kit of the space battleship Yamato, and it looked gigantic when I ordered it, and when I got it, it ended up like being the size of my little finger. So I wanted to get a larger model of that ship, and today I want to show you a bigger version. Today we have the space battleship Yamato as seen in Star Blazers. Star Blazers for me was a childhood after school show, and you can see they have Nova and Derek Wildstar on the cover, along with seeing the Yamato. And I think that says Yamato, but I'm not 100% sure. So why don't we take it over to the desk where there's more room and there's more light, and I'll show you guys the space battleship Yamato. Well, actually this is going to be the Argo from Star Blazers. Alright, it's a pretty big box. You guys can see the cover of the Argo, and you can see some of the pictures on the side of the finished model. And by the way, this is in 1/500 scale. A lot of the writing on the side is in Japanese. And this is model kit 0031253-3800 from Bandai. And the other side, let's see if we can find a date. I'm not sure. I'll put the date up if I find it. You can see it looks like a Gamelon ship and a fighter plane, one of the Tigers, and you can see the Argo. The other one is with the Comet Empire, and I think both ends of the box are the same. And I'm sorry it's so large, it's tough to get it on screen. Okay, let's open it up and show you guys what's in the box. Tape on either side. Alright, so the first thing I notice is it looks like the instruction manual. So let's start with that. This is from Bandai, and this is in 1/500 scale, the Space Cruiser Yamato, or the way I refer to her is the Argo from Star Blazers. And we have a parts list. You can see the first one. We can see the wings that are going to go around the engine. And this could be the aft end of the ship. And looks like the superstructure, and this could be the stand or the base. All right, let's see what else we got. And we're going to go right into it. So we're going to go on to step 1, and you can see the formation of the base. And everything appears to be in Japanese. On to step 2. This looks like the propeller shafts that will be underneath the ship, or the bilge keel, or the stabilizer type of wings. And this goes on the bottom of the ship as well. And this is step 3. Moving on to step 4, we've got the hull, where the two halves of the hull come together. And we're going to put in step 5 the finishing touches on the hull. Like some of the rocket boosters and some of the wings, as well as some of the stabilizers that are going to go on the bottom. The observation deck, number 32. And you can see where we're going to put in the insertion piece for the wave motion gun. And of course, when we build it, we're going to light that. We're going to light the whole thing, but the wave motion gun is one of the special features of the Argo. Number 6, or step 6, you can see we're putting the guns, the main guns, together. And you can see on the bottom, we got the side guns or the anti-aircraft guns. Moving on to step 7, we're going to put the guns into place. We're going to put them on the deck. Step 8, looks like we formed the superstructure. And that looks like it could be the radar. And way up on top is where the captain's quarters are. Captain Avatar, his quarters would be up there. Moving on to step 9, we're putting on the stabilizers that go on either side. We put the bridge in. You can see the parts that are going to go around where the bridge area is. And a couple of guns that go on the side. On to step 10, looks like we're going to put that onto the superstructure. And more stabilizers in the back. Put the guns in. On to step 11, you can see some more of the pieces that are going to go on. Looks like what used to be the smokestack on the original ship. Of course, this is the whole story of Star Blazers is that Earth was under attack. And with Earth's fleet just about wiped out by the Gamelons, they needed a new ship. And they resurrected the sunken battleship Yamato. Of course, that was the Imperial flagship for the Japanese Navy during World War II. On to step 12, you can see we're putting the decks on. And the superstructure is going on. And a few more guns. On step 13, we got the formation of the engine, the back, or the thrust. And of course, we will be lighting those as well. I'm not sure what that is. On to step 14, you can see we're putting the deck with the superstructure onto the hull, as well as putting the engine on and mounting it to the base. Step 15, I guess you can see the finished model. And it looks like there's a backdrop. We'll get into that shortly. And those are all the steps. So when it comes to the series, the Space Cruiser Yamato series, it looks like we have one of the Black Tigers, the fighter jets. A couple of more fighter planes. And we have a couple more of the Yamato models. And I know they make a 1/1000 scale version. They make a 1/350 scale version. They make they make all kinds of sizes, different sizes of the ship. And looks like a Gamelon ship. And again, it's all in Japanese, so it's hard to read. And that is the instruction sheet that was right on the top for this model kit. And it looks like we have another booklet. And it looks like we actually have IQ-9. This is a nice little touch. IQ-9 was the robot that served aboard, kind of as an assistant. And you can see the pieces. This is like getting another kit. So we have the halves, and I'm thinking that that's the glass dome or the clear dome. We got the wheels, and this is IQ-9. Alright, let's go into this build. So step 1, you can see it looks like the formation of his arms and his hands. Step 2, we have the tracks so he can move around. Step 3, he's got those iconic kind of fins. And step 4, we're putting the primary hull, or his body piece, onto the running tracks. And ooh, looks like we have decals. You can see the dials and where they're going to go on. And lastly, step 6, you can see the finishing touches that are going to go on. And it would be pretty fun to light IQ-9. We can actually use one of the coin battery power supplies. So this is like a little bonus model kit. Okay, so let's put this aside and let's actually take a look. And you can see the Star Force, Captain Avatar. I think that's Derek Wildstar's brother. Now, let me see if I can get this out. Yeah, this comes right out. So we've got Mark Venture. We've got Derek Wildstar's brother, who we thought was killed, but they found him on Iskandar. We've got Captain Avatar. That's, by the way, that's IQ-9 I was telling you about. He's over by Dr. Sane. And Orion, he's the engineer. He's kind of like the Mr. Scott of the Argo. And we see in the middle, we see Wildstar and Nova. We move over to the Comet Empire. And the Comet Empire was actually ruled by Prince Zordar. And that's actually Prince Zordar right there. Now, when they were fighting the Gamelons, it was Leader Deathlock. And that's Leader Deathlock. He joined forces with Prince Zordar after the Gamelons had been defeated by the Star Force. And that's a look at the Comet Empire. So this is pretty cool, the insert. There's nothing on the back, so let's put this aside. There's another insert where it has the halves of the hull. So why don't we take a look at that real quick. So this looks like it's the starboard side, showing you the inside of the ship. And this one is a lot larger than the last one I showed you. Yeah, this one is large. Now this is the earlier or the first release of the 1/500 scale. Not to confuse you guys, but before they actually put any thought into the actual size of the ship, this one was officially in 1/500 scale. Of course, this is larger than 1/500 scale. So what they did was they corrected the error. And if you look to get one of the newer kits in 1/500 scale, you're going to notice it's going to be much smaller than this one. That's why I had wanted this one. I wanted the larger kit. And we're still going to light it up. You can see the front where the wave motion gun is going to go. And we've got the observation deck area. And where the stabilizers are going to go, they added this when the ship would leave orbit of the Earth. And you can see the back where the engines are going to go. So this is the starboard side. Let me show you guys the port side. And again, it's larger, beautiful. A lot better than the other one. The other one was so tiny. Let's put the halves together and I'll show you guys kind of sort of what she's going to look like. The Yamato, the Imperial flagship of the Japanese Navy, was a huge ship. It was one of the biggest, most powerful ships that was ever built. And I'll be doing a history video on her for you guys. You can see where the engines are going to go. It'll extend probably about that much more. And let's flip her around to where that awesome wave motion gun is. This is so cool. Again, it's a lot better than that dinky little thing that I showed you guys earlier. I think that model ended up being, what, 1/2500 scale? It was just so tiny. This one's a lot larger. It's going to be a lot more fun to light. Okay, so that's the hull. Now, it looks like they have, this is tape. It's like a background. I don't know if this will be the background they show in the instructions. And again, there's writing. I think that says Yamato. And over here, it does say 1/500 scale. The length is 526 millimeters. And you can see kind of the space background, and you can see the Argo. They did a remake of this into a movie, and it's just spectacular. It's called Space Battleship Yamato. It was so awesome. I watched it in Japanese with no subtitles, but I could still kind of get a grasp of what they were saying and what they were doing because of my love of the series. Okay. So now, looks like we move on to the actual parts. Actually, I want to show you guys the IQ-9 model kit real quick. And he's a pretty good size. Let me show you guys how tall he's going to be. So the body is just about 4 inches. So you figure, add on the those blades that are on top and the feet, he's probably going to be about maybe 5.5 inches. So that's a pretty good size model. And it's just about 2.25 inches wide. So this is going to be, this is a little bonus. It's like a kit in a kit. And these were lit. We can drill that out and we can light them up. And this is going to be a lot of fun to make. So let me show you his body. And let me start by showing you, if I can get them out first, they're little decals. These are actually stickers. They're not water slide, they're peel and stick stickers. You can see the little dials that are going to go on. And you can see the curvature, how that's going to go around right on the front. Again, it's going to be a lot of fun to make. Alright, let's look at one of the first tree. And this has his hands, and it's got those kind of those blades that come up off the top, and you can see his hands and his shoulders. So that's a nice little bonus. And looks like we have the clear parts. And this is for the dome. Again, it's going to be a lot of fun to build. And finally, we'll look at his running tracks. And he does have a couple of antennae. Nice. And that is IQ-9. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the ship. Let's see, it looks like we have the deck section, the forecastle deck, towards where the wave motion gun is going to go. And then we have the aft end, the poop deck area, where the engines are going to go. Let me show you how this is going to fit onto the hull. Take a quick look and see how it's going to fit. It's going to fit pretty well. And this is going to be a pretty good size. Again, let's take a measurement. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be just about around the area of 19 inches, 19 and a half inches, once everything is said and done, because we still have to add maybe about a couple inches onto the back for the engine section. Let's see, is there anything? We've got the number 1 in PS, and the only areas you can see where they have deck, you can see the wood planking. Of course, this isn't really used on the spaceship version. Alright, looks like we have a bag that has the base in it. So let's take a look at that. And we've got the first parts tree, and right off the bat you can see that awesome wave motion gun. If you can see a little area on the inside. That'll be fun to detail up. And of course we can put a light in through the back. Just drill a hole in. And looks like we have the poop deck with the rear gun turret. And you can see the main guns over here. It's molded in gray, but from my memories from Star Blazers, the ship was actually blue and red were the actual colors. It did look different in the movie Space Battleship Yamato. It had more of like a gray, but I'm gonna want to go with blue just from the cartoon, because that's the I'm not doing the Yamato, I'm actually doing the Argo. You can see some of the fighter jets. I think these are the Black Tigers. I'm not sure. I don't quite remember. But you can see the little wings that are going to go on, and you can see the anchors. So that's the first tree. And let's see, we have the base, and that's going to be everything in this bag. You can see the supports, a pretty cool looking base. Kind of reminds me of the AMT Star Trek Adversary set with the Ferengi ship and the Romulan warbird and the Klingon bird of prey. Let's see what else we got. Looks like we have the base, and you can see it says 1/500 scale Space Cruiser Yamato, 263 meters, 38.9 meters wide, 62,000 tons, 1/500 scale. So it comes with the base. And you really don't have, we're really not going to have to do a lot to the base. Alright. Looks like we have a tree. Let me take it out of here to show you guys. This tree looks like it has the superstructure on it. Yeah, look at that. And this section has the smokestack. See some more guns. Along with the main guns, it has some smaller guns that go just behind the gun turrets of the main guns. And I believe that's what these turrets are. And we have a lot of the small little bulbous sections for the... at one time they were anti-aircraft guns, and now they would be anti-fighter jet guns. And let's see, they go into, looks like the bridge area. You can see where they would be at the bridge. And this looks like it could be Captain Avatar's quarters that are up on top of the ship. And you can see the base of the superstructure. And the windows of the bridge. Nice. Let's see. It looks like we have one more bag. We've got a couple of trees left. In this section, looks like we've got the, we have some decals. And these actually are water slide. And I'm not quite sure what these are going to be for. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain where these are going to go, but these are the only decals that I see for the ship. And you can see we've got the engine section, and this is going to be pretty fun to light. You can see how we're going to do the area around, because the way the ship actually fires is this is supposed to light up, but this is a solid piece. So we would put around the area on the inside I like the LEDs that kind of flicker like an engine flame. You can do that. That'll look pretty cool. And this is going to go on to the end of the ship. And it looks like you can see the radar. It's going to go on either side. And we got the formation of what looks like the back mast, perhaps. And we got some more of the guns. Smaller guns, and we have the little stabilizers that are going to go on the back of the ship around the engines. And let's see. Looks like we've got the section that's going to go on the bottom of the ship, right there. And we have the stabilizer wings that would come out the side. I don't know if they're retractable. It looks like they could be retractable because of the way it's made. Almost like taking place, the place of the bilge keel when it was on the surface of the water. And it looks like they've got the missile launchers right there. And I think these are the observation decks that are going to go along the hull. And looks like the smokestack too. Actually, this isn't a missile launcher. This actually is the top of the smokestack. And we have a couple of the, I'm not sure what these rings are going to go for. Nice. And that's everything that's in the box. You got the decals, and that's it. That's everything. So that was the model kit. Let me show you guys the box again. And that was the Argo. And again, it's marketed as the space battleship Yamato, but it does have the characters from Star Blazers. In the United States, it was Star Blazers, and this ship is called the Argo, with Wildstar and Nova on the cover. So my friends, until we start the build, thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.